What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So we finally have answers from Senator Joe Manchin and what he's willing to accept in this $1.75 trillion infrastructure bill. We got news on the stimulus package. We got responses from President Biden. We know what progressives are now furious over. And we got some news on the Omicron variant. So let's get right into it. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. So here are the answers that we have regarding the $1.75 trillion human infrastructure bill. Well, we know that President Biden was given an offer. He was given an offer from Senator Joe Manchin, and I will address that in just a second. But this is big, and it's going to shock you what is in this offer. We also know that Omicron is now the cause of more than 73% of new COVID cases here in the United States. We know progressives are furious with President Biden and the White House for their lackluster job on multiple different things. And we know progressives are going as far as asking President Biden to use executive action to accomplish at least part of his economic agenda before the end of this year. Again, things are getting very interesting, but we could have even more answers very soon. Here's what I can tell you. Let's just first get into what Senator Joe Manchin had to say and what he is willing to accept in this $1.75 trillion infrastructure bill. According to the Washington Post, and multiple other media outlets have also reported this as well, Senator Joe Manchin made a private $1.8 trillion offer to President Biden. This was just to President Biden, and neither one of them spoke about it. Well, this offer included universal pre-K for a full 10 years. This means children 3 and 4 years old would be able to go to preschool for absolutely nothing. Well, parents and other people who pay taxes obviously would have to pay for this, but children 3 and 4 years old would most likely be able to go to preschool and not have to worry about paying anything. This also included an Affordable Cares Act extension, or pretty much expansion. Okay, so they want to expand it a little bit, probably includes more subsidies. We also know that Senator Joe Manchin was very close to President Biden's climate spending number. However, and these are where things get very interesting, there were most likely going to be restrictions for the universal pre-K. There's going to be limitations there. We also know that for the amount of money that Senator Joe Manchin was willing to spend on the climate bill, this was going to have a lot of there was going to be a lot of what Senator Joe Manchin wanted. So what President Biden wanted and what he was trying to push wasn't going to happen. And so this, according to reports, is one of the reasons why the White House has not accepted this offer, because there's still a lot of room to try to make up. And the other big one, may have caught on to this didn't include a child tax credit payment. There's nothing in this bill for a child tax credit payment. Not 1 year, not 5 years, definitely not 10 years, like Senator Joe Manchin said they should pass. But here's what I want to bring to your attention. News broke today that Senator Joe Manchin told colleagues in private that he didn't support the child tax credit payments because parents could easily use that money on drugs. Yes, this according to multiple reports. This was first reported by the Huffington Post. It was then corroborated by multiple other media outlets as well. So, Senator Joe Manchin believes that the reason why that children shouldn't have more money to eat, to buy school supplies, clothing, right, is because the parents could spend the money on drugs. But here's what I can tell you. Senator Joe Manchin, he also stated today that these child tax credit payments should only go to those people or parents who are making less than $200,000 per year. He stated he wants the money to follow the child no matter what, no matter who takes care of them. And he stated that Democrats need to be more willing to fix the issues that these payments are causing. I'll get to that in a second, but let's first address the one thing. How can we give additional assistance to parents that hopefully will flow to the child, but yet we're worried about them spending the money on drugs? I know a lot of people mentioned this before, they're buying the new PlayStation, they're spending money on, putting the money into the stock market, right? Now, I understand once the money goes to the parent is obligated or pretty much able to use it for whatever they want. What Senator Joe Manchin is wanting is, why don't we take that money and put it towards something that could still provide assistance to the American people, maybe not children, but provide assistance to people that won't spend the money on drugs or other things. And how do you determine who is going to spend it on the right things and who's going to spend it on the wrong things? And this is where Senator Joe Manchin is pretty much coming out and saying, no, we're just not going to give the money because I'm worried that people are spending it on the wrong things. Here's what I can tell you. What we know is that many financial experts worry that American families who receive over $500 per month, they will be much more likely to fall back into poverty once these child tax credit payments stop. So if you receive over $500 per month, that means you have at least 2 children that are over the age of 6. Okay? So here's what I can tell you. Right now, January and February are going to be the real true test to see how effective these payments are. And since these payments aren't going to go out in January for sure, well, I guess we got 8 days to determine that, but I'm going to say they're not going to go out in January. It's highly unlikely they go out in February, but again, we'll see. So we will know for sure how many families are being impacted by not receiving these payments. And this could be a big turning point. This could be a big catalyst when it comes to especially things like evictions or paying rent or paying bills, putting food on the table. This could cause a lot of issues, so we're gonna have to keep a close eye on this. But what I can tell you is right now, lawmakers, mainly progressives, are just furious over pretty much what Senator Joe Manchin was allowed to do by President Biden. And this is one of the reasons why House Democrats are actually blaming President Biden and the White House for what has gone on. One lawmaker told The Hill today, and I quote, "This is an indictment of our senior leadership in the White House. The worst part is nobody will be held accountable for this." But they go on to say, this all started with the withdrawal from Afghanistan. That's where it started. It wasn't something that was just this human infrastructure bill. It started before that. Now, progressives are calling on President Biden to take up some form of executive action and pass at least part of his economic agenda. And even Pramila Jayapal, who's the chairwoman of the U.S. Progressive Caucus, she said, and I quote, "We cannot make the same mistake twice. It is abundantly clear that we cannot trust what Senator Joe Manchin says." Now, here's what I can tell you. During a call today, according to Representative Pramila Jayapal, she told Senator Joe Manchin, if his goal is to shrink the bill even more than what Democrats have already done, then progressives will never go for it. So, even though she didn't say that this bill is dead, I can tell you right now, if Senator Joe Manchin wants to shrink the bill because he doesn't like where it stands, or there's other priorities that he wants to get included, and progressives say, no, we will never go for it, this bill is not going to pass at this point. The two sides are too far apart. Or even if they're right next to each other, they are still too far apart because nobody can agree on the other person's perspective or objective. And so that creates a lot of issues. But let me know your thoughts on this as well. Do you think this is a good thing that this bill isn't passing? Because this most likely would have raised taxes on every single person in the United States in some way, shape, or form. Or do you think that this should pass and we need to recontinue and relook into this in 2022? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But let's get into the Omicron news for today. Reports are indicating from the CDC that the Omicron variant cases now have cause more than 73% of the new cases here in the US. Just to give you an idea, in the past week, the CDC reported that Omicron was estimated to be at just 12.6%. Okay? The week before that, okay, so going back, 3 weeks, the CDC reported 3%. So it went from 3% and it quadrupled to 12.6, and then it really shot up to 73%. It's a huge jump. But keep in mind, okay, keep this in mind, that this is still seen as a relatively mild somewhat like a mild cold. The only issue that many health experts are currently reporting is that this could easily become deadly, because not only does, for some people, a mild cold is just a mild cold, but for some, a mild cold can easily turn into something more serious and severe. And that is what health experts, at least according to reports, are trying to avoid for the time being. Until we know more, until there's more out there, better vaccines, the efficacy rate is higher, or Pfizer gets their pill approved, which as of right now, according to Dr. Anthony Fauci, he says we could still be months away. And he says this because it takes a little while. Once you actually request the emergency use authorization or approval, it takes a little bit. We know the FDA took, 3 to 4 weeks to finally get the emergency use authorization approved. That took months to get the actual authorization approved. So right now they're saying this could be a while. And on top of that, you still gotta get the manufacturing, you still gotta get the shipping, right? And everything does kind of take a little bit of time, especially with supply chain issues. We don't have a lot of truckers out there shipping products. That causes a little bit of an issue. So we'll see what happens moving forward, but what I can tell you is there is some progress as of today. So a lot of this wasn't the greatest news, but we are making some progress. It's small, it's minor, it's minute, but you can barely see it. So as always, if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.